Alright, so before I begin, I just want to let you guys know that the third and final Anthology Songs album by Jin Hashimoto has been released yesterday, and I believe the songs are now out on YouTube. The album overall is pretty good, but my all-time favorite song from that album is Oh My God Ja. It just sounds so freaking awesome. And it's a character song for Old Man Joseph Joestar. However, the fourth Stardust Crusaders OST was supposed to be out on the same day, yet I couldn't find any links to the OST soundtrack, so if any of you guys know where I can find the fourth OST soundtrack to Stardust Crusaders, can you guys let me know in the comments below? I'd really appreciate it. Alright, so enough of that. It's time for the Bleach chapter, and well, the pacing hasn't gotten any better. Hey guys, LunarSpawn27 here, bringing you Bleach Chapter 628, New World Orders. So the chapter begins with the rest of the Shinigami arriving at the Soul King's palace, or should I say, the new Vandenreich Palace. Everyone was wondering if they actually arrived at the royal palace, and when I mean everyone, I mean Shinji, so Urahara and Shunsui confirms to him that they have arrived at the right place, which means that Yhwach broke down the buildings from the Serite that we saw in the previous chapter, brought them up to the royal palace, and created a new version, his own version of the royal palace. Yeah, Yhwach did all of that. Again, how the hell are they gonna beat this guy? Not only that, but according to Soifon, the entire royal palace has fallen into enemies' hands since their current location is one of the 5 temples belonging to Squad Zero. We get to see what the entire royal palace now looks like, and from what you can see, Yhwach has changed the entire area to look like the Quincy cross. We got back to Ichigo and the others who were still wondering what was happening, as Yoruichi and Yushiro were able to sense each other's Ryatsu. This Ryatsu belongs to Yushiro? Huh? Yushiro? Who's that? Oh right, you guys don't know. Shihoin Yushiro. He's my little brother and next in line to become head of the Shihoin house. On account of my banishment and all. Whoa, hold the phone. You mean to tell me you had a little brother and it's only now you tell us about him? How come you never told us about him before? You planning on putting a ring on my finger anytime soon? Ring on my... huh? Yeah, just like I thought. Besides, why am I obligated to tell you about my little brother? It's not like you guys asked about my family or anything. So Yoruichi has a little brother. I wonder, what does he look like?
My Hakuda is second to none. I am the successor of the Shihoin house.
Hey, stop. I know those looks on those faces of yours. Don't get carried away with your imaginations. He just looks like me in physical appearance. That's it. Meow. Oh, for the love of... Not in that form! Hell, I haven't even turned into a cat in years! Oh, right. Sorry about that, Yoruichi. But since you brought that up, how the hell do you even turn into a cat? I'm sorry, there must be something wrong with my ears because I could have sworn I heard you asking me how I turn into a cat. Well, it's been on my mind for quite a while, I just didn't have the time to bring it up, so how does that work? Is it some sort of secret Shihoin clan technique, or is it some sort of keto spell? We are in enemy territory, going to take on the Quincy King, who just became the new Soul King. Well, you know how Kubo is with his pacing, and it is the final arc, so, why am I surrounded by morons? As much as I feel sorry for Yoruichi, Ichigo does bring up a good point. How does she turn into a cat? Well, anyway, Yushiro was ecstatic to know that his sister was close by, so he decides to head to her location. Unfortunately, he can't seem to make any stepping platforms, so he almost falls to his death, but is saved by Renji. According to Byakuya, because of the high density of the reishi in the atmosphere, it's impossible to create stepping platforms, which also means that the reishi in the area is now under the Quincy's control. And considering that Quincy's are good at manipulating reishi in battle, yeah, the Shinigami are in even more of a disadvantage right now. But on the plus side, they were able to sense Ichigo and the others, so that's some good news for them. So all they can do now, since the Soul King has died, they have to defeat Yhwach and get a new Soul King. At least that's what Ukitake would say. And, since Shunsui brought up Ukitake, does this mean that he's really dead? Because again, it would really suck if he did, because he technically died for nothing in the end. I mean, the whole Mimi Hagi-sama was absorbed by Yhwach, so yeah. Anyway, just when the Shinigami were about to head out to find Yhwach, something emerges from the rubble, revealing a giant Vandenreich palace. They assume it's their way of goading the Shinigami on, to which Shinsui says, guess we should oblige and give them what they want. Meanwhile, in the new palace, Haschwald has informed Yhwach that Ichigo's group and the Shinigami have arrived on their territory in their Welt, to which I found out that Welt means world in German. And the chapter ends with Yhwach, who is sitting on his throne, naming his one true world that he created as the Wahrwelt, which means new world in German. So yeah, that is Bleach chapter 628. What did I think? Well, it was a little better than last week's chapter. The artwork used on Yhwach's newly created palace actually looks pretty good. In fact, I like this new palace better than the old one, especially the new Quincy headquarters. The part when Ichigo and the others were trying to imagine what Yushiro looks like was kind of funny, although I do wonder why Yoruichi never talked to them about her family. I guess they never asked. Unfortunately, the problem with this chapter was just like the previous chapter. Its pacing. Albeit the pacing was slightly better and there was some more dialogue, but the dialogue is basically saying the same thing. Yhwach has taken over the Soul King's palace. It's basically setting up for the final confrontation between the Shinigami and the Quincy's, which, by the way, I don't know who is going to fight against who, and I still don't know how the hell they're going to defeat Yhwach considering how freaking powerful he is, especially now that he's the new Soul King. So despite the pacing being slightly better, the chapter still feels slow. I'm hoping next week's chapter we're just going to go straight to the point and maybe have something interesting happen. And if we are going to get some dialogue, I hope it's going to be explaining more about the Quincy's and their backstories, or at least Yhwach's backstory for that matter. If not that, have the dialogue at least interesting and not stating the obvious. But aside from that, I think this chapter overall was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. So tell me guys, what do you think of this week's chapter of Bleach? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Any ideas on who is going to fight against who? And what do you expect to see in the upcoming battles? That is, if we are going to get some next week. Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you like it and subscribe to more videos. And be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is Bleach chapter 628. I'm LunarSpine27 and I'll see you guys later. Bye.